Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful fall-inspired tumbler with one of my favorite vinyls in my shop, these embroidered pumpkins. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. We are starting with a 24-ounce plump from the Tipsy Magnolia. There will be a discount code linked for you down in the description. I am taking an 80 grit sanding block and just giving it a good sand. I have already cut my template out on some vinyl. Usually I cut this out on printed vinyl that I'm going to use, but I'm going to show you today how you can alternatively cut it out so you are not wasting as much as that expensive printed vinyl. I am just going to take my Cami Page Boutique Ultimate Tumbler tool and make a line going up the tumbler going vertically. Then I will take my template and just fold back about an inch or two and tack that down to that straight line. Once I have that all lined up, I will leave the rest of the backing on and just push it around the tumbler to make sure all of my lines match up. Once it does, I usually just use the palm of my hand or a vinyl squeegee, pressing firmly right in that crease that meets between the tumbler and the template. When you have almost reached the beginning of your template, you're going to pull back a couple inches of that transfer paper, making sure that it does not overlap your pattern. Once you have your template applied, you can remove the rest of that transfer tape. Now, this particular file I did design to be a little long because sometimes I like to fold over my vinyl around the bottom edge instead of the glitter on the bottom. And that's what I did here. I just folded that away. And then on my template, I cut it out on this really cute embroidered pumpkin vinyl. But this time, instead of cutting the whole template, I just sliced the template away from itself, the sections that I wanted, which was like the bottom section and then the middle chevron V section. And then I am just going to remove those sections on my template, pick up the section that I'm going to need in the pattern vinyl, and then just place it directly where I removed the piece of the template. This will cut down a little bit on waste of that expensive patterned vinyl. Now I'm going to remove the bottom section of this template and then also transfer over that pumpkin vinyl in that section. I just line it up the best that I can. And then on the bottom, what I like to do is I just leave the overhang sticking straight out for a minute. Then I'll take some scissors and just cut small slits all the way around the base of the tumbler, and then I will take each slit and give it a slight tug, stretching it completely smooth around the bottom of my tumbler until it lays as flat as you can. If it's not super flat around the edges, it's really hard to get smooth epoxy. And then I will cut a circle to just cover my raw edges. Now we are going to remove the top section of our template and paint it in a cream color. This color is Australian Sand from Miss Lillian's, but you can always use something very similar. It's just like a light creamish ivory. And you're going to make sure that has 100% full coverage. So this took me a couple coats to make sure that you couldn't see that stainless steel peeking through. Now you are going to take your favorite glitter glue and cover that entire section with a pretty heavy layer. You don't want this to be too thin and dry on you too fast because we will be ombreing two glitters and you need the work time. Once that glitter glue is all applied, we are going to take two colors that make the most beautiful blend. This is Drizzle and White Diamonds from my shop. I will have them linked down for you in the description. And we are just going to take the drizzle first and apply it heavily around the bottom. And then we are going to take the white diamonds and apply that heavily around the top. And then we are going to tip our tumbler at an angle, going back to the drizzle and just lightly tapping our container or cup that we are using to apply our glitter and just kind of let it cascade down your tumbler. Then we are going to flip your tumbler at an angle going the opposite way and do the same thing with the white diamonds, which is just slightly tapping that container and letting it cascade down your tumbler. That will give you a really pretty soft blend. Now we are going to remove the section that is right between those two pattern vinyl sections, and I'm going to let my glitter glue and glitter dry a little bit on the top section. Once you have that done, I am going to tape this piece off. It is a little bit thin and can be a little bit hard to paint in that little bit of a section without getting it all over your pattern vinyl. You could easily do my tumbler template hack on this as well. If you haven't seen that video, it's a few videos back and it is quite the game changer, but I actually forgot to do that on mine. So I am just going to tape this section off and then I'm going to base paint this until I get full coverage with kind of a peachy pink. Once that paint is completely dry, I'm going to mix in a little bit of that same paint with some glitter glue and apply it to that section. While that glitter glue and paint mixture is still wet, I'm going to take the glitter color Chic Pink and sprinkle that on. Now you can remove those pieces of tape from your pattern vinyl, and then we are going to remove the last section of our template, and we are going to do the same thing we did with the bottom section, which is take that peachy pink paint and paint that section until you get full coverage. This glitter we are using is semi-transparent, so you can see through it a little bit when there is epoxy applied. So you will want to make sure that this is a really solid coat of that peachy pink. Once that is dry, you're going to take your glitter glue and paint mixture again and apply that over the top and then sprinkle on that Chic Pink. Now you are going to let those glitter sections completely dry, and then you are going to spray seal your tumbler really well. I like Rust-Oleum or Krylon's Triple Thick, but use whatever you like. And then you are going to add a layer of epoxy and cut out your decals and some striping on your Cricut or Silhouette. I am adding this really cute Hey Pumpkin SVG from my shop in a peachy background with some textured gold. And then I'm going to add some striping around each of the V sections. And I cut two sizes, one thicker and one thinner. I'm applying the thicker sections on the bottom portion of the V and then the thinner sections on the top. And then just because I like to add a little bit of extra striping, I am taking an additional thin stripe and adding it above the final stripe on the top section of the V, leaving a small gap in between. Now it's time to add your final layers of epoxy to your tumbler until it is smooth. And here is our tumbler all finished. I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. This is one of my very favorite templates in my shop. I hope you guys give it a try, and thanks so much for watching.